An El Al flight from New York to Tel Aviv encountered a number of delays after a group of ultra-Orthodox men refused to sit next to women. Now, their religion indicates that they're not supposed to be in close quarters with women. In fact, let me give you the exact details of what their religion says. Ultra-Orthodox Judaism forbids physical contact between men and women unless they are first-degree relatives or married to one another. So they get on this plane, right? They're on their way to Tel Aviv, and they notice, a number of them notice, oh, well, we're seated next to women, and we can't do that. That's against our religion. So as a result, they refused to sit next to them. They would, according to the women that were on the flight, they would harass the women to change seats. In some cases, the men offered to pay extra money to have the women change seats. And if the women refused to do so, they would stand in the aisles, as you saw in that picture right there. And so the flight got delayed because people couldn't get to the bathroom. There were safety concerns because you're supposed to be seated with your seatbelt on. And so it led to a lot of issues. And one woman says the following: I ended up sitting next to a Haredi man who jumped out of his seat the moment he had finished taking off and proceeded to stand in the aisle. Another woman said some of the men spent much of the 11-hour flight standing and praying in the aisle, which caused general commotion and made it difficult to reach the restroom.
So I'm actually split on this issue, believe it or not. You know that I don't believe in any of the religions, let alone fundamentalists. They drive me crazy. So I see them in their funny outfits, as I see, you know, the Pope in his funny outfit. I see Muslims in their funny outfits, and I think, like, really, God's going to judge you based on your outfit? Like, ooh, you didn't look fierce enough. Sorry, it's going to be purgatory for you. Okay, so unlikely, but they deeply believe. So, and so they do follow the regulation of the airplane that they have to be seated and buckled in as they take off. Okay, the minute that the seatbelt sign is taken off, then they jump into the aisle and stand for up to 11 hours. Okay. Now, the reason I mix is, look, if you politely ask someone to move, I got no problem with that. There might be many different reasons why you ask people to move. You want to sit next to your wife, to your friend. In this case, you don't want to sit next to women. Look, I don't care what your reason is. You can politely ask people. You offer them money to move. God bless your heart. They take it, they don't take it. That's up to them, right? So, or Jehovah bless your heart, or whoever, right? And so I'm fine with that. But if you then start harassing people, like, you should move because I can't sit next to you, as these women are saying that they were on several different flights, by the way. This is just the latest example, right? Well, then I got an issue. I got a real issue with that. I mean, look, people get thrown out of planes all the time for the most minor things.
I'm not torn on this story at all, okay? Sorry about your religion, okay? This is part of flying and this is part of life, okay? Those women paid to sit in those seats, okay? So yes, of course you can ask them. There's nothing wrong with asking them politely, okay? But if my flight, my 11-hour flight gets delayed because you can't sit next to women and you can't be an adult about this situation, sorry, then you shouldn't be flying to Tel Aviv. How about that? Okay, if you don't like it, sorry. Okay, oh, really? You're gonna delay this flight because your religion doesn't allow you to sit next to women. Yeah. And if they were harassing the women, as they were saying in the story, then that is beyond unacceptable. I don't care about your religion. And it has nothing to do with Judaism. It has nothing to do with any specific religion. It has to do with religion in general. I don't want your religion inconveniencing me. Okay, you want to believe in whatever you want to believe, that's fine. Do you? I don't care at all. If you're harming other people or you're inconveniencing my life or trying to dictate my morality, I'm against it. I'm against it 100%.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you didn't want to touch them anyway. They're so worried about it, like, oh, these women are going to touch me. No, they're not. None of them are going to touch you.
No interest in that.
All right, anyway. Now, look, I have this category called sad day for you, right? So now that applies in both cases here. Here's what I mean by that. If you happen to be seated next to a woman, there's nothing you can do about it, and she doesn't want to move, sad day for you, right? We all got to get up and get this flight going, and we got to get to Tel Aviv, right? Now, also, if they decide to stand for 11 hours, then that's what they decided to do. Okay.
Again, do you? I don't care how uncomfortable you are.
So some people say, hey, I'm having trouble getting to the restroom. Well, I'm going to put that in the bucket of sad day for you. Yeah. So it turns out you're on the plane with ultra-Orthodox dudes, and they're standing. You squeeze by them. That's life.
That's right. I will squeeze right by them.
No, don't do them the favor.
Rub right up against them as they're blocking my way to the bathroom.
No, you'd only be doing them a favor because you know they're fundamentalists. They're full of shit. They can't wait for you to rub up against them.
First of all, I have no interest in rubbing up against them, right? But if they're in my way and I got to use the bathroom, I'm not going to like walk on eggshells to make sure I don't touch them. Move out of the way. Sorry. I know I'm being really harsh on them, but this story upset me because flying is already difficult as it is. You're delaying the flight. Like, the fact that the flight would be delayed over this would drive me mental. Okay, now you brought up a great point here in that, let's just switch it for a second. Let's say it's fundamentalist Muslims and they're delaying the flight. Okay. How quickly are they going to be escorted off that flight? Okay. Oh, you got to go, son. No, hold on, guys. I have religious beliefs. I got to pray before we take off. I'm going to throw the Muslim prayer rug and go to Allah. You gotta go. Oh man, they're gone so quick. Okay. National outrage. Okay. Oh, of course. It would be. Why did Obama allow this? Okay, so now look, they're thinking about a policy where they would have segregated seats for ultra-Orthodox, especially on flights like LL that often go to Israel, right? And then you would pay more for those. It's okay, great, no problem whatsoever. And look, plan ahead. Why don't you sit with your ultra-Orthodox buddy? You can do that, right? Yeah. When you check in, you choose your seats, right? And you can make sure you're seated next to your friends. I just flew from Los Angeles to Vegas, and all of my friends wanted to sit next to each other, so we made sure that we planned ahead. You can do that, right? If you're not going to plan ahead, and then you're going to get on a plane with this sense of entitlement and ask people to move, like that rubs me the wrong way. Okay? And if you rub me the wrong way, I'm going to rub you the wrong way. How about that? I'm telling you, don't rub them at all. That's what they're secretly waiting for, right? They're like, oh, don't touch me, don't touch me. Oh, thank God you touched me.